Warning: the following show features audio performed either by professionals or under the supervision of professionals. Accordingly, Happy Hour Podcast and the producers must insist that everyone that is of drinking age attempt to recreate or reenact any audio or activity performed on this show. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to an all-new episode of Happy Hour Podcast. I'm Mike.
I'm Tabby.
And today we are wrapping up our three-part series on the Cornetto trilogy with The World's End.
But before we get started, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the Lost Astronaut Coffee. We've become ambassadors recently, and just a little bit about Lost Astronaut Coffee. If you go on to their website and purchase any kind of coffee that they do have, they have light medium roasts, they have dark espresso roasts, really great coffee. They also have some cool merch that you can buy, hoodies, t-shirts, hats, really cool, it's like a backpack but a hard case, and it's called a jetpack. And 70% of the Lost Astronaut Coffee donates 70% of all of the revenue from the signature mugs go to mental health programs and suicide preventions for at-risk youth. This month, I do believe, is the Trevor Project.
And if you want to buy some delicious coffee and merch, use
promo code.
Use promo code HappyHourPod3, all caps, at checkout and save 5% off.
Super excited.
It's got some good stuff, and I'm excited to have some of that delicious coffee.
In the morning.
In the morning, afternoon, night, and wear one of those badass t-shirts and have a warm hoodie with their awesome logo just wrapped around me. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about The World's End. Are you ready?
Let's take a trip down the Golden Mile.
And paint the town red.
I had one of those nights that starts out like any other, but ends up being the best night of your life. I did. Our goal that night was simple. 12 pubs, 12 pints, from the first post to the world's end. But that night, we never made it. That's what the boys do today. We're going to go back to Newton Haven. Why? 5 guys, 12 pubs, 50 pints. 60 pints.
Oh, steady on, you Alky.
This is our chance to finally finish what we started. We are going to do the Gold Mile, and this time we are going to see it through to the bitter end. Or lager end. Good evening, Raymondo. The prodigal son's return. Hey, what do you recommend? Beer. One tap vodka. What? What the hell is this? Why are we even here? We are here to get annihilated.
You come back and everything's sort of weird.
I suggest you get on your way. It's not us that's changed. It's the town. We are going to get to the world's end if it kills us. Welcome home, boys. Oh, no. The world's end. What do we do? Let's finish our drinks.
The World's End, directed by Edgar Wright, starring Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, Paddy Considine, Martin Freeman, Eddie Marsan, Rosamund Pike, and the legendary Pierce Brosnan.
We've got blood on our hands.
It's more like ink.
We've got ink on our hands. I'm so excited about this one because going back and watching all three, yeah, Shaun of the Dead kind of kicked it off, and it was like, oh, cool, zombies, haha, funny. Then you kind of got somber, dry British humor and Hot Fuzz, and it's like bad boys and cops and stuff, and then you get to World's End where it's kind of more like our speed, like, let's go take a walk down to different bars and drink and have fun, and then, oh shit, there's robot aliens or blanks.
Yeah, blanks. I like how when I forget what bar it is, when they're finally all loaded after Andy Nick Frost puts down the shots, and they're all drunk. They're trying to sit around the table and figure out, like,
who's gonna take them back?
What do we call these things? What are their names?
Yep.
And
they're going through multiple names, like robot aliens, alien robots.
Yeah.
Others.
Oh, there's a bunch of different styles.
Then he's like, "Don't talk about it." And he's like, "What? Don't talk about the blanks?" Yes, the 2 blanks out back.
Yeah. Do you know the names of all the bars that they go to?
Surprisingly enough, not off the top of my head, but I've got my cheat sheet right in front of me.
Okay. I mean, go for it.
Okay, so the inaugural tankard in the first post, on to the Golden Familiar, the famous cock, the cross hands, good companions, trusty servant, the 2-headed dog, the mermaid, the beehive, the king's head, and the hole in the wall. And the last one is the world's end.
Yep. And they almost, spoiler alert, they almost made it. All the way to the bitter end.
We kind of have something like that up here. I mean, it's more of a myth now than anything, but I remember turning 21 and everybody was like, "Okay, we're going to take you on the Bambi Walk."
Yeah.
Do you remember the Bambi Walk?
Oh, God, yes. Well, I heard a lot of people talk about it, but I never heard anyone, I've never met anyone that actually did it.
I know a couple people that did it.
Really?
Yep, and they never survived. So, for you guys listening, the Bambi Walk here in Louisville is you walk down Bardstown Road, and there's 21 bars along the Bardstown Road. And at each bar, you walk up to the bartender, show him your ID, and say, "It's my 21st birthday." You have to drink the drink that they make you.
Yeah.
Whether it be alcoholic, whether it be a water, a tea, a Coke, or all the alcohols in a glass.
Yeah. I was told it was you have to drink a beer and a shot at each bar. That was the rule. That's what I was told.
A beer and a shot?
Yeah.
There is no way someone was going to survive 21 shots and 21 beers.
Yeah, no, there's no way that's going to... There's no way that's going to happen.
No, but there's... From what I was told was...
Because that's a lot.
That's why I say. So it's the further in the walk that you get, they can serve you water. Or they can serve you tea. Or they can serve you a beer. You know, just something to quench your thirst.
Yeah.
But this one seems a lot more fun, especially with blanks. Waiting for you.
This movie is definitely my favorite in the trilogy. It's actually my favorite drinking movie. If I had to put drinking movies into a category,
is it really?
This is number
Top
one.
Top of Beer Fest?
Oh, this beats Beer Fest in the face. Beer Fest is my second, but this is well, hell, we watched it yesterday and today.
We did.
I mean... Well,
I did pass out towards the end, but I have every reason.
Yeah, I've been a little bit under the weather.
A little bit.
Power through.
Powering through, I am today.
Put your big girl pants on.
I always have my big girl pants on.
So, before we dive into this, I do have a question.
Absolutely.
Can you tell me, what is a robot? Yes, Gary. Yes, it's a slave.
I was getting there. Sorry. Choking on my vape. It's a slave.
That is correct. That's one of the few Pierce Brosnan quotes that I know. Outside of Mrs. Doubtfire.
Outside of Mrs. Doubtfire's
and of course the 007, but yeah.
I don't think I've ever watched any of those.
I've never seen a single 007 movie before.
So
I have no interest in it either.
No interest.
No.
I'm right there with you. So something that I pointed out when we watched it again today that was kind of like a holy crap moment is when they're walking out of the high school, one of the first scenes.
Yeah.
And he's naming off everybody's names.
Yeah, you told me about that.
I am surprised that I didn't see that before. So, Peter Page.
Uh-huh.
Oliver Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Stephen Prince.
Yeah.
Andy Knightley. And Gary King.
There's a connection in the last names of the five boys.
And I didn't put it together until just today.
Yeah.
I was today years old when
same.
I put it together. So you've got Page,
a
Chamberlain,
right,
Prince, a Knight, and a King.
That is insane. That is
right.
Fucking
bravo.
Yeah, good on you for that one,
Edgar. Right.
Cheers to Edgar and Simon.
And yes, well, holy crap. So that was like a whoa. I have to pause this and process it, but it kind of like climbs up the ladder of the levels.
Yeah.
Of I wouldn't say royalty, but a knight in the game of chess, a knight protects the king.
Yeah, it's like that hierarchy.
There we go.
Is that the word?
Yeah.
Is that the right word? Yeah.
The hierarchy of it.
Of like in the medieval.
Yep.
The days of yore and yesteryear.
I just thought I would throw that out there because I was just like, this is so cool that they just did that.
And how many times have we seen The World's End?
Oh, a lot.
And never
never caught that. I never put two and two together.
It makes you wonder.
If you guys caught that, if you guys definitely caught that,
then good on you.
Then yeah, definitely
yeah.
5 stars. 5 stars.
Right.
I love the fact that Gary King is so oblivious to everything around him.
Yeah.
And he's honestly, I feel like he's like we are, as not really like we are, but he's our childhood that we never really wanted to grow up.
I like to think we all have that friend. I know I do.
Oh, we have that friend.
Yeah. It's like, oh, remember 20 years ago when we did this? Yeah. And then you see him again. Hey, remember that time we did it? Yeah. We have this conversation every time that we see you.
You're still stuck in the past, dude. We got to move on.
We're adults now. Like Andy said, we're not in high school anymore. We're adults. Our lives have changed, and we're trying to grow from this and move on and be better people. But, it is what it is. But it is cool to, like, have that nostalgia, like, vibe inside your heart and in your mind every now and then to bring it back. So, I was doing some digging. Mm-hmm. Well, not digging, more of, like, scooching dirt out of the way with a spoon on IMDb. Because you know how they have the trivia. Mm-hmm. And I came across this, which we just talked about. The main characters' surnames all have royalty or court connections. Gary, King, Andy, Knightley, Peter, Page, Stephen, Prince, and Oliver, Chamberlain.
Yep. I didn't even look it up on the trivia shit. I just caught that on my own.
Yeah.
I felt really proud of myself on that. I felt really good.
And you didn't even have to look on IMDb for it.
No, I did not.
So, cheers on that one for you.
And if you knew about it before I did, shame on you for not telling me.
Yeah, right. So, here's another thing I found. This is for the King's Head, the sign outside of the King's Head pub. The poster for the King's Head pub features Simon Pegg as the king. I noticed that. I have to watch it again now for a third time this weekend just so I can see it. No, I did notice that because I was like, who is that? Is that Simon? So the picture, the bar sign is a picture of Simon Pegg. But he's got like the big black curly wig. Yeah, but it's his face. Yep. Just he's in like a old English cosplay looking thing. And it looks painted. Yeah, it was painted. It was a painting somebody did and hung it outside on the set. That is so awesome. The opening narration by Simon Pegg about the original pub crawl the friends failed to complete is a blow-by-blow foreshadowing of what happens to the characters throughout the film. Oh. Yeah, think about it. When he was in the group at the rehab. He did, talking about Martin Freeman's character. Oliver. How he crapped out before they made it to the end. Before they made it to the middle. What happens to Martin Freeman after they leave the mermaid? Before they get to the mermaid, he turns into a blank. But yeah, he's a blank. But by the time they leave the mermaid, you're like, okay, yeah, he's... Even though Gary King says, the old Oliver wouldn't have made it this far. The new Oliver I like. He's like, what are you getting at? He's like, I like the new you. Peter, when Peter got beat up at the end for beating up his bully. Yeah. Actually, I've got a couple of trivias that I found. The poster for the mermaid. I really like that bar. Like I would love to go to the bar. Yeah. It's like everyone's dressed in like like school uniform. Because they are. They're school age kids. It's a kids bar, I guess. Like for high schoolers, but they're old enough to drink. Well, no, because they were all adults, because the Marmalade Twins were there.
Well, they were the shell of the Marmalade.
Well, yeah, but in their adult selves.
Of the Marmalade Sandwich.
Speaking of the Marmalade Sandwich.
Speaking of Marmalade Sandwich.
Not twins, because there's 3 of them.
There is 3 of them.
And none
the
of
mermaid
them look like. Yeah.
Features 3 mermaids, 2 blondes, and a redhead in the middle.
The Marmalade Sandwich.
Reference to the Marmalade
Sandwich. It's the Marmalade Sandwich all over again.
Oh, another one. I just the fruit machine in the King's Head.
Yeah.
In all 3 Cornetto trilogies. Do 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 do.
Yeah.
It plays in all 3.
Does it?
In Shaun of the Dead, when they're in the bar in the Winchester.
Okay. Yeah.
And then in Hot Fuzz it plays again, and then in World's End it plays.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. That's I hate myself for like not knowing these things and missing so much because I've seen all of these so many times.
The girl sitting next to Gary King in the in their little circle at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
That was Mary from Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
Mary. There's a girl in the garden.
There's actually quite a few recurring actors in all 3 of these films.
Yep.
Martin Freeman.
I think there was 5 of them.
That were in all 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Martin Freeman is the main one.
Martin Freeman.
But he cameoed in Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
But he was the inspector in Hot Fuzz,
yep.
and he was Oliver. O-Man.
O-Man.
But he doesn't like to be called fucking O-Man.
Omer.
Yeah.
Because Omen, he had the 6 on his head. It was
yeah.
Because they called him Omer.
Yeah, Ollie.
Yep. And then the kid who in Shaun of the Dead was like, your dad's here for you.
Oh.
He's like, he's not my dad.
British Buzz McAllister.
Yep, and then he was he Cartwright or Wainwright?
He was Cartwright. But one of the Andes. And I never realized that because in Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, that looks like 2 completely
different.
He's a ginger in Shaun of the Dead, and he's 17.
I think.
He said his character is 17.
I think he was 18 or 19. Maybe.
But Sean's like, I thought you were like 25 or 26. But he looks. I implore you to go back and look at Home Alone, and then look at him and tell me that son of a bitch does not look like Buzz McAllister. Gunnar even thought that it was Buzz McAllister the first time he saw it. He goes, Home Alone is in this. Like, no. But, yeah, I see it.
And then he was, in World's End, he was in the house that Martin Freeman was showing. Yep. He was trying to buy the house.
Speaking of the house.
Okay.
The couple whom Oliver is showing the house to in the beginning of the film is the same couple to whom his blank is showing a house to at the end. So that couple, he shows that house twice to the same couple, but as blanks.
Yep. Oh, and you were correct on the Cornetto paper.
Yeah.
And it was green.
Yeah.
It was mint green, and it at the very end when it flew against the fence.
Yeah, when Andy walks up and he's trying to like stick his tongue through the fence to lick it.
Like, oh.
Yeah, he's like, I want a Cornetto, but it was a mint green. Which, like we said in the last episode, it's the green represents aliens and sci-fi. Yep. Because even though in this the aliens have blue blood, and they're not green.
It's not blood. It's ink.
Yeah. So Edgar Wright admitted that a lot of thought went into the costumes for these characters. Some of the clothes foreshadow what happens to the characters in the film. For example, Peter and Oliver wear blue, foreshadowing that they become blanks.
Interesting.
Stephen and Sam wore red, foreshadowing that they will become a couple. Red, heart, Valentine.
Love.
Or in love and all that.
Gay.
Gay loving.
Alright, gay.
King Gay.
There's a beam above your head and it says Gary King. No, it doesn't. It says King Gay.
Well, some cunt scratched out the R. That was me. Oh, that is like best friend moment right there. That is
a me and you moment too.
Gary dresses in the same outfit as his teenage self as an homage to a way a soldier might, quote, suit up before going into battle or committing suicide. Black Death.
Right.
Nothing about Andy, though. He's the only one who doesn't have a thing with his...
I think, honestly, if that doesn't say anything about Andy,
yeah,
I feel that he dressed more maturely because he has been the adult the entire time.
To show growth.
Not even growth, but he has been the adult taking care of the other ones the entire time.
Because that was referenced how when the accident
happened.
How when Gary OD'd and then his miraculous recovery.
Yep.
Leaving Andy to 12 hours of life-saving surgery.
Saging surgery.
Life-saving... That's a tongue twister. Life-saving surgery. But yeah.
And we're not drinking, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I'm drinking tea, but it's not twisted. It's regular sweet tea that I bought at Aldi today. Shout out to Aldi for their amazing tea.
But yeah, I'm wondering if that's the whole Andy thing, as to he's the grown-up of the group and he's had to take care of them.
He dresses like
a grown-up,
like a father figure, like a dad. He's a lawyer. He wears a nice suit, a tie, a really cool looking khaki trench coat, glasses, big glasses.
Big glasses.
Thick fucking frames on those glasses. But
you got anything else?
But yeah. Here's another one. As the young Gary in the opening flashback stares down at the dawn, a shooting star, later referenced as the alien arrival, can be seen quickly zipping across the sky. Huh. So when at the beginning, after he's at the end of his story, when he's talking about what they did after high school,
and then he sits down on the
looking at the dawn of a new day, and you see that shooting star.
Oh,
that was the blanks coming to Earth.
Gotcha. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Never even thought about that one.
And it's subtly referenced at some point in the film. Yeah. And then he sits back on that same spot, and he's watching Newton Haven engulfed in flames, staring down at down at the town at the top of that hill.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that kind of that was a foreshadow for Gary.
For the future.
But I think that's a really cool little thing. A cool little.
This one was very well put together.
It was.
It was very well.
They took their time. Well, there was a 6-year gap between Hot Fuzz and this, because this came out
7 and this one is 13.
Yeah.
Yep.
2007's Hot Fuzz.
Jesus Christ, that's over. You're done. No more.
That'll be our trivia. What year did Hot Fuzz come out?
If you don't know what year Hot Fuzz came out, boo on you.
But no, real quick, while we're talking about that, after this episode drops, we are going to do... I've got gook all over my phone. We are going to do a giveaway for a signed poster signed by
all three of us.
By all three of us, myself, Tab, and Caleb, and it is going to be some Cornetto trivia. 1 to 3 questions. We haven't figured it out yet, but the first person to correctly answer will win the free poster. It's a mini poster, but it looks badass.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's got our signatures on it, so
it's brightly colored.
It's worth billions. Don't sell it on eBay, or we will sue you.
No one will buy it. No one will buy it. Nobody likes us. Nobody will buy it. Who the fuck is H? Microphone H.
We'll just give it away.
So, I just want to throw out quotes, because the quotes in this movie are probably... I live for the quotes.
I have a favorite quote.
Okay.
If it's okay with you, I would like to do that real quick.
Okay.
What the fuck does WTF mean?
What the fuck, Gary?
What the fuck? Oh, yeah.
I have so many. I love it when he's sitting in Andy's office, and he's like, the Golden Mile. It's 50 pints and it's 60 pints. Oh, get it excited, little Alky. Like, that's the way he giggles when he gets...
And then, like, a little after that, in that same scene, when Andy stands up and he, like, just sticks his hand out. What are you doing? I'm showing you the door. It's not really a door, is it? It's more like a window. Maybe it's a window.
That's one. What's that above the doorway?
That's a lentil.
Oh, I've always wondered what that was.
Those are two that we use very fucking often.
Especially when we go downtown and we see the glass doors.
Yeah, maybe it's a window. I think we reference this movie to each other more than anything we've ever seen on a movie or TV show
More
ever.
than likely, yeah.
We quote this one quite a bit. And then, of course, the got blood on our hands. It's more like ink. Got ink on our hands.
Yep.
That.
Yep. I think we do that one to gain each other's attention. Where it's like, I have blood on my hands.
Well, it works. It works like gangbusters.
When Gary's talking to Peter, and he's, how is, Vanessa?
Mm-hmm.
No, your wife, Vanessa. Yeah, how is she? She's good. Have you had sex yet? And he goes, we have 2 children. Ooh, twice. Get the fuck machine.
Ooh, look at you, fuck machine. And then he's trying to, like, tickle him.
Peter is such a fun character. Like when they're in the mermaid,
He's cool as hell.
he's
I love
awkward
Peter.
and weird, but he's when they're in the mermaid and one of the twins
Oh, God.
is like kissing on his neck and like rubbing on him, and he's going and he's like giggling, and Sam's like, they're trying to blend in, and he's going
At the end, when they leave the mermaid, and Gary says something about...
Oh, hold on. It's, oh my gosh.
If hot girls dressed in schoolgirl uniforms came up making out with you, you'd love that too, right? And Peter goes, fuck yeah! And then they high five.
Yep, hold on, I'm trying to...
Did you find that quote?
I'm just pulling it up. I'm trying to. Hold on. We can...
Use promo code HappyHourPod3 at LostAstronautCoffee.com for 5% off at checkout.
Oh my gosh, I can't find it.
Why is this sticking to the table and making crunchy noises?
Oh.
So, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I also like it when Gary comes into the, Andy's office.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I've got an idea. We're gonna go drink, and we're gonna do the Golden Mile. And Andy says, I haven't had a drink for 16 years, Gary. And Gary goes, well, you must be thirsty then.
Yeah.
The puns!
Yeah.
These are amazing.
I love them so much.
And we're back, just like the 5 Musketeers.
It's more like the 3 Musketeers, 4 if you count Don Tennant.
Well, nobody knows how many there really were, do they, Pete? I mean, history's a sketchbook.
You do know the 3 Musketeers is a fiction, right? Well, that's what some people say about the Bible. That it was written by Alexander Dumas. You know, don't be silly, Stephen. It was written by Jesus.
And Andy, are we there yet?
That is one of my favorites. Like, what, that it was written by Alexander Dumas.
No, that it was written by Jesus.
Don't be silly, Stephen. The Bible was written by Jesus. And you can see, like, the pity in their voice. Like, when Stephen asks Andy, like, about the tape that he had made for him. It's like, where did you find the tape? It was in the cassette player. And then he, like, gives him the case, and he looks at Oliver, and they're like, oh, God. Like,
It's been in here the whole time.
like, dude, what the fuck? This is weird.
Now, reverting back to when they were trying to name the blanks.
Yes.
Andy's, like, what he came up with was nothing suggested in the last 3 minutes has been better than Smashy Smashy Eggman. Why is it so funny?
Oh my.
I'm gonna have to use that.
Smashy Eggman.
Ooh, what about if somebody gets drunk, like super drunk in front of us, we could call him Smashy Smashy Eggman. You get to wear the Smashy Smashy Eggman. Get back in your rockets and fuck back off to Legoland, you cunts! The end scene when he's just spouting off.
Oh my God! Between the network.
Yes.
Voiced by Bill Nye.
Yep.
Shout out Bill Nye,
Yep.
amazing actor. And between the network and Andy. Oh my God! What was the band name? And Steven goes, "That's a good name for a band, Gary. You should write that down too."
Oh, I don't remember.
Something in the Shifty Twins.
Oh, the one that I said we should have named our podcast.
Nutty and the
Nutty Boys and the Shifty Twins, or Nutty Balls and the Shifty Twins.
Yeah, Nutty Balls and the Shifty Twins.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, that's it. Nutty Balls. That's a good band name, Gary. You should write that down too. I like it every time, like, there's a name of something that you could name something. Gary always says, "That's a good band name, Steve. You should write that down for our band." Like, he thinks they're gonna start a band together.
Well, remember they had a band in high school, but they never really, pursued it and continued.
It was more like they were just kind of jamming out together.
Yep.
Because Steven was their bass player and Gary played guitar.
No, Gary, did he play? I thought he was the lead singer.
He might have been then.
I don't know, but he's got that really bad tattoo on his chest too.
Oh, it's the band that they played. Free to do
what I want.
That's the band's logo
Is
that
it?
he's got tattooed on his chest. Yeah, that's a good looking fake tattoo.
Yeah, that is. When they're in the
Simon Pegg is jacked. He is like for someone who is in the condition that his character is in, he is pretty ripped.
Oh yeah,
which is weird.
Ooh, excuse me.
Because you would think he would look more saggy and droopy and sad. But, so, I have a couple of goofs, actually.
I'm not done with quotes, but keep going, because I've got more. No, keep going. Go.
Okay.
I'll just drop in.
So, here's a goof. One of the three girls swallowed the wedding ring, and later it's retrieved by pulling it out of her stomach when Andy punched her.
Yeah.
I want you inside me, Andy. Okay. Smash.
Right.
But earlier in the fight, in the toilet, when the boy's head came off, there were no pipes or tubes connecting the head to the stomach. So,
interesting.
There was no pipes in that kid, but when Andy stomach punched her and pulled it out, you see
maybe it closed off.
You see sparks and wires hanging out of her.
Interesting.
Along with the ink.
Interesting.
Or blood, whatever they call it.
Maybe there was a tube in the throat, but maybe it was just cut off. Maybe it's like a Barbie doll head.
Yeah.
Where there's just a little tiny hole in the top.
Like if they eat something, there's a tube and it just drops in,
or
and
it just
lands
and then closes and seals. I don't know.
But she had.
The world will never know.
I guess not.
That's a question for Edgar and Simon.
Lucy took a shit. Poo. What was it? Oh,
I'm looking. Hold on. I'm trying to remember.
Well, while you're doing that, let me tell you that Andrew Knightley's law firm is called Beckingham, Davis, and Knightley LLB. In England, the suffix LLB means Bachelor of Laws and describes a person who has an undergraduate degree in law. Law firms should bear the suffix LLP, Limited Liability Partnership. So that's a thing that was actually incorrect in the movie. It said LLB, but it should have said LLP.
Mm. Is it the one where Steven is waiting for Gary to use the bathroom? This is a long piss. And Ollie looks over and says, if it's a piss, it might be a little.
It was when they saw him playing Need for Speed. When they were sitting at the table drinking coffee.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think Gary's doing? He's over there playing fucking Need for Speed. And then Oliver went, or he could be, rubs his finger under his nose, and then
Oliver, how is that a poo?
Peter goes,
no, it was Oliver.
Poo.
Oh, yeah. Poo. Yep. Yep.
he chuckles when he says poo. Wait, how is that poo? Because he's supposed to be saying, oh, he's probably doing coke in the bathroom, and Steven, poo.
Oh, when Andy says, we're not your friends, we're just fucking enablers. And
Gary King and the Enablers.
Enabler. Oh, that's a funny word. Gary King and the Enablers.
That's a good name for a band, Steven. You should write that down. Gary King and the Enablers. That's a good name for a band. You should write that down.
Oddball and the Shifty Twins.
Oddball and the Shifty Twins.
Yep.
What did you say? Nutball and the Shifty.
I was close.
Same thing. It's the same thing. I mean, really. So, I have two factual errors.
Okay.
That were found.
Which is?
The first one, at 1 hour and 12 minutes into the film, Gary King is accused of having dislocated his elbow, if you remember when they were at the hole in the wall, requiring a metal plate to be inserted. Metal plates are used to treat bone breaks, not dislocations. That is an error. The other one is when Gary is telling the boys that he's changed on the car since they last saw it, he says, carburetor. The car is a Ford Granada 2.8i Gia X. This model did not have a carburetor because it was a fuel-injected vehicle.
Oh.
That probably just says Gary doesn't know shit about cars. That's
Yeah,
what that tells
I don't
me.
know shit about cars, so that didn't really matter to me either. So. Oh, another one is when Steven said 10 people have entered in this toilet in the last 5 minutes and not a single one has come back out again. That's going to look suspicious.
Yeah.
And Gary King goes, gay loving.
Like he was asking, like, what are we going to tell everybody if somebody, like, asks him, gay loving?
Gay loving?
In the bathroom. Which is kind of weird because they were in there with teenagers.
For a long time, too, and there was a lot of ruckus. A lot of ruckus.
But it wasn't the fun ruckus, it was the violent ruckus.
It was.
But in a bar, if you're drunk, a violent ruckus could be a fun thing too, I suppose. Everyone likes a good bar fight from time to time, you know? I enjoy watching them. So, a continuity error.
Okay.
In the early scenes with Gary recruiting his buddies, his Eye of Horus necklace, sorry, I said that wrong, frequently appears and disappears from shot to shot. So it'll be like the camera's on him and he'll have it on, and then it'll cut to, let's say, Andy, and then it'll back to Gary, and now the necklace is gone.
Interesting.
And then back again, and then Gary again, necklace is there again. So it's like every other shot he wears it, and then every other shot in between that he does not wear it.
Well, looks like the wardrobe director needs to be fired. No.
Yeah, I would say.
That doesn't bother me.
I don't know, but the whole foreshadowing thing with their costumes, that's a free pass. You get a free pass for the necklace thing, because that was cool. Like what they wear foreshadows. Sam's here. Is there a fucking echo?
Yes. Sam's on her way. Sam's here.
Is she still fit? Am I still what? Fit. Bianca.
What are you doing? Following me into the ladies' room. Why do we have to go to the ladies' room? We have the disabled.
Yeah, we'll always have the disableds.
It brings out the out of order sign, wearing it like a
necklace.
Like a necklace.
Like it's a trophy and a badge of honor. Out of order. That was funny. And he wore it proudly too.
He did. He did.
Sam gave this to me. Like, no, well, not as a gift. It was more supposed to be an insult, but you know, it is what it is. So, during the first big blank fight in the pub toilets, Peter falls against a urinal and comes away with white paint on his back. Presumably, the damaged urinal was touched in with white paint between takes. When we see his back again, the white marks are gone.
Wow.
Yep. So,
I'm surprised I didn't catch that.
boom, boom, boom. It's there. It's not.
Gone.
Or it's not there. It's there. Then it's gone again. I don't know why they would need to touch up.
I think one of my favorite lines too is from Sam. Is how everybody's like fuck and cunt and fuck.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh crumbs."
Oh crumbs.
When they're on the roof after they've ran away from that badass bar fight.
Yeah.
That bar fight.
Oh, at the Beehive.
Yeah, my God.
Oh, that's my favorite part of the whole movie.
That
was a bar.
Is a
do
real
you
bar
even bar fight, bro? Do you even bar fight?
not unless you bar fight like that.
Whew, that was fun.
And it just kept coming.
If I was ever in a bar fight, that's how I would imagine it going down.
No.
It would not go down like that at all.
I love the choreography that they were fighting. It was so perfect.
They turned it into like an action karate movie.
It was so good.
Like, because the stunts, you had Gary swinging on chandeliers with one hand and
Running
a beer
across
in the
the
other.
bar. Yep.
Drop kicking Oliver in the head when he was trying to talk to Sam.
Yep.
Oh, that was so good. And then Andy uses the two little stools like boxing gloves.
Yep,
and
and just starts
I
punching.
fucking hate this town! And rips his shirt open
yeah.
and starts like just slugging away.
So when Gary and Sam are running through the houses and then end up on the roof, and she looks down, she's like, "We should climb down the drain pipe." And he goes, no need for the drain pipe, and like jumps and lands on her car, and she looks down and
slips. He's like,
and then he lands on the car and he goes, "You should take the drain pipe."
he's like, oh, you should take the drain pipe.
Just busted out her entire car windows.
The windshield, all 4 windows in the rear windshield just explode out of the car.
Oh, it's
like,
so good.
He hits and his feet go boom, boom, and he's, you should take the drain pipe. Who needs who needs the drain pipe when you can just do this? And he's like looking at her and steps off trying to be cool, and he just eats shit as soon as he hits that car. His feet just shoot. That is a very realistic thing that could happen in a
anything.
Yeah.
In real time. If you jumped out that window right now.
If I jumped out of our window and landed on my car, that is exactly how I would hit. Assuming my knees don't bend sideways again, like the trampoline incident last summer.
That would be really bad.
I don't need that on my conscience again. My life does not require more than leg injury.
No, please.
Ugh.
No.
But yeah, that was fucking hilarious.
After the fight with the twins in the back of the bar, and Sam's on the ground, and Gary walks up to her. And she's like, "Oh, you're gonna pick me up," and he's like, "Throw me a cig." She's like, "You son of a bitch."
Yeah, check us a ciggy, and he just leaves her there, and then puts her cigarettes in his
pocket
and steals her lighter and walks away.
Nope, I would have killed him. Let's boo boo.
Yeah, that's.
I use that a lot.
That's a quote that we use often.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of quotes. We reference this movie on a. Like,
I do that to Gunner all the time. I'm like, "Hey, Gunner, let's boo-boo."
Yeah, like, quotes and references from this movie is part of our everyday life. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, if you haven't seen it, shame on you. Go see it.
Shame on everyone that... When I made that poll on Twitter, and it only got 13%, shame on everyone. I used both my Twitter accounts for the show. And it finished out at 13%. Screw all of you. I'm calling everybody out. This movie is hilarious. The humor in this, personally for me, is way better than Sean and Hot Fuzz. It just is.
The laughing, the gags, the comedic bits. And they even do the fence gag, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's like a theme that Edgar Wright has. It's the garden fence. And in this one, Carrie just like grabs onto it with his hands in the whole thing. He goes, uh-oh. He Home Alones himself throughout this whole movie.
Oh, he absolutely
Well, not the whole movie, but during the whole battle scene with the blanks.
The battle scene, though.
So fucking good. I could not get enough of it. Excuse me.
Was it the famous cock that he was kicked out of?
Yes. Gary King.
Or was it the cross hands?
It might have been the cross hands.
I think they were... Was
Y'all
it third
band.
one in? Third one or fourth one in?
Fourth. It was the fourth one in.
So it was the cross hands.
Yeah.
That
Gary
one?
King, and he's like, "Oh, see, I told you they remember y'all band." And then he points to a picture, and it's him flipping off.
The camera.
Yeah.
And then when they all walk outside, he's like, "No, we have to have a pint at everyone." And then he's like, if you watch in the background while the other 4 are walking towards the camera, he's back there at the table, like, chugging leftover beers.
He pours the other 2 lesser ones into the full glass. Luckily, there was no
cigarette butts.
Yeah.
Nothing in it.
But do you think that if it had cigarette butts, he would have, like, just fished them out?
Yeah, probably.
And,
or
like,
he would have drank it and spit it.
Found a way to, like, filter the ashes out of it.
Nope. I don't do that because I've accidentally made that mistake.
But you could tell those beers were still kind of fresh because
of the bubbles on
they
the top.
had a good amount of head on the beers. So that was... That made it less gross, but it's still gross.
So, it was one of the last bars that they went to, excuse me, before the Mermaid, or the last bar they went to before the Mermaid, which was
the Old Familiar?
Two-Headed Dog.
Two-Headed Dog, yeah.
They ended up, they poured Foster's beer into the glasses, but they were drinking a dark beer at the table.
Yep.
I noticed that, oopsie.
Yeah. Yeah, I did too. I noticed that yesterday when we watched it.
Yep.
It's yeah.
They make beer look so delicious.
All the beer looks so fucking
I
good.
know.
Oh my god, it looks so good.
And then when Andy plays catch up,
Yeah. Oh,
there's like Andy's the only sober one to drive us back.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Because after the bathroom fight scene, he sits down at the table and he starts pounding those shots. Like he goes to town on them. Just
he has to catch up.
And you can hear him like just gulping it down.
Grunting,
And then that last one, he slams it, and then he goes, "Let's boo boo," and then they leave.
The network.
Yeah.
I really love the argument between
Gary and the network.
Gary, Andy, and Steven with the network.
I fucking know what I fucking said.
At this point, your planet is the least civilized in the entire galaxy. What did he say? He said we're a bunch of fuck-ups. Hey, it's our basic human right to be fuck-ups. This civilization was founded on fuck-ups. And you know what? That makes me proud!
Yeah.
That is awesome. Like, that's...
I want to be free. I want to get loaded.
I said that tonight while we were watching it.
Yeah.
I love that part where he's like,
God,
we want to do what we want.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is. Look above the beam. It says Gary King.
No, it doesn't. The R scratched out.
It's-
What cunt did that? That was me.
No, it's not. It says Gay King.
King Gay.
King
Or-
Gay.
Yeah. King Gay. And then...
Oh, fucking cunt scratch the R
And then
out.
Peter, King Gay.
And Steven,
then-
that was me.
When they're running through the field, he like stops at the tree and he goes, King Gay. He's still laughing about it.
That's because he's drunk as shit. And one of the last bars too, they sat down and they said something and drank the pint. And he said it, and he like snorted the beer and laughed, and he had foam on his face.
Yeah.
I don't remember what was said, but it makes me giggle.
Yeah. What? Or when Gary's arguing with the network and he tells him, "Get back in your rocket and fuck off back to Legoland,
And
you
you
cunt."
cunt. That's the second time we've referenced that one. We need to reference that one a lot more, just because it's hilarious.
Or when when they get to the first bar, and can we get 4 of those and a tap water, please?
What?
And then Gary says, "A man of your legendary prowess drinking fucking rain." It's like a lion eating hummus.
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 Hello, I am a robot. We do
Yeah.
that a lot too.
Yeah.
Especially with one specific person.
Yeah.
Because he is a robot.
He has batteries to charge him.
Because he never sleeps.
Nope.
I don't see him eat, and if I do see him eat, it's very rare.
I will die on the hill.
That he is a robot.
He has a USB port on the bottom of his foot that he plugs into every night.
Because he is a robot.
Yeah.
I think I really want to get I want to try and find a ringtone or a text tone where they're all chugging their beers in unison, and Gary says, drinking, beer, pubs, bleh, shall we? And then they leave the bar. Like, that's great.
Yeah. When Gary goes to recruit Peter at the dealership, and he says, "How is Vanessa?" "No, your wife." "Vanessa? Yeah, how is she?"
Gary King and the Enablers. Gary King. Yeah, there's more than one Gary King. But you just said, I fucking know what I fucking said. It's pointless arguing with you. You'll be left to your own devices. Really? Yeah. Fuck it.
And then they start cheering.
And then everybody starts blowing up and dying.
The world's end kind of self-destructs from within.
Yep.
And you see all the blanks just kind of like fall down.
And then old man Basil is like, up here.
I told you not to ask me that. Don't ask me what happens next.
What happens next?
I told you not to ask me that.
A drink, they can get it from your saliva and the DNA off the rim of your glass. That's why I drink with this crazy straw. Not so crazy now, am I? Oh, here it is. The network. Just what is it that you want to do? We want to be free. Yeah. And we want to be free to do what we want to do. Yeah. And we want to get loaded. Yeah. Oh, hummus. Oh man, this movie is beyond like.
It is so good.
I really wish like the Golden Mile was something real.
Kind of a pub crawl, yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Where we get to fight robots and argue with Bill Nye about how we're all a bunch of fuck-ups. That would be my favorite thing in the world to do.
Just argue.
Yeah.
And, meet Reverend Green.
Yeah.
Just to say we met Reverend Green.
And Basil.
And Basil. Sweet Basil.
I told you not to ask me that. I love David Bradley so much. He is so funny.
I told you, like I said in the last episode of Hot Fuzz, he's just placed the crusty old man.
Yeah, he's a farmer that hoards like the most badass and a sea mine and all these weapons that are apparently illegal.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
I can't. I'm sad that it only got a 7 out of 10 on IMDb.
Yeah.
Where the other two got higher rated.
Yeah.
I like all of them equally, but laugh factor in this one is definite first. It's got a lot of laugh factor to it. I think it's the one-liners or like the punchlines, the setup, just how daft everybody is.
Yeah, what did you say IMDb gave that?
I think a 7.
A 7, 8? Well, Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 89%, so it is certified fresh, with an audience score of 71%. So it was pretty well received overall.
I'd say anything over a 70 is well received.
Yeah. It's not the best, but it's pretty fantastic. Good. But yeah, it's a certified fresh movie, which is great.
If you like movies of like buddies hanging out and drinking,
it's an ideal buddy comedy for sure.
And if you like robots,
yeah. Well, this movie's got a lot of elements of different genres. It's got comedy, it's got science fiction,
suspense.
It's got drama because you got those really heartfelt scenes like when Andy and Gary were fighting, and Andy pulled down his Gary's sleeves and he saw the bandages around his wrists with the hospital band bracelet, and why do you have to keep doing this? It's all I've got. Like that was deep.
That was
because
we've all been there.
That was like a super like best friend. Like Andy hates Gary, but deep down he's like, this guy is my best friend.
Oh yeah.
And I will go to any length to make sure he's cool.
Absolutely. And
recognize that he has an issue and try to help him. But again, like Gary King said, we're all a bunch of fuck-ups. So, yeah.
No, Steve said we're a bunch of fuck-ups.
Or, yeah, Steven said.
We're all a bunch of fuck-ups.
Yeah, but he can fuck off back to Legoland.
You fucking cunt.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
So, yeah, I guess that's gonna be curtains on the Cornetto trilogy.
Absolutely. I've had a great time talking about it.
The World's End.
I've had a great time talking about it. I've had a great time watching them again.
Yeah, again and again and again and again.
I will always be down to watching them. If you guys haven't watched any of them, go watch them. Listen to each of the podcasts after you watch them. Any comments or anything you want to drop, make sure you do so.
Yeah, and please always, and like with any episode, please feel free to leave us a rating and a review because those things help us kind of continue on this little journey.
And you can totally find us on our socials to do so.
Yeah, you can follow us on Twitter at Happy Hour Show 3, Instagram for some cool behind the scenes pics. You can follow us there at Happy Hour Podcast 3, and as always, you can check us out on Facebook. What's our TikTok?
Beer emoji, Happy Hour Podcast, beer emoji.
On TikTok?
Yep.
Okay, so we've got some cool stuff, little videos, and you actually came up with an awesome idea that we're not going to spoil just yet to do for TikToks.
Yep.
And that's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. We will actually release that on the next episode that we do when Caleb's here.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be I think it's going to be super fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be disgusting.
But it's
going to be fun though.
In the name of science.
Oh, in the name.
In the name of science. Yes. Bill Nye the Science Guy. We're going to hopefully
Bill.
do you proud. Next week we have a pretty cool episode because our friends from Making Nerds Cringe is going to stop by.
I am super excited to
And
nerd out.
We're gonna have some fun with those people.
Fuck yeah, and then we Gunner's episode.
Yeah, Gunner's decided he wants to
Actually,
start.
I think his episode is going to come out before this one.
It will.
So if you haven't had a chance to listen to Gunner's episode, please do so.
Yep, his show is gonna be mini episodes. They're gonna be 10, 15 minutes long. So you can listen to it on your way to work or home.
Or while you're taking a poo.
Yeah, or taking a poo.
That's why I said it.
But yeah, Gunner's podcast he decided to call it the Legendary Gunner Podcast, which is super badass. But it's Gunner, so that's expected.
It is expected.
And his newest episode is going to drop.
It just dropped.
If you're
on
listening
Wednesday.
to this now, then it's already dropped, and we hope you enjoyed it. Please give him a good rating and review. We've already booked a couple of guests for him. He's going to have Bleach Bros podcast, his favorites, his heroes. Our friends, the Designated Quizzers, are going to quiz him on some stuff and have a lot of fun with that. And
we've got Uncle Jace.
Yep, his Doodada.
His Doodada coming on.
Yeah.
Uncle Caleb, of course.
Yeah. So, looking forward to that.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, he's going to have a blast with it. He's already excited to get this ball rolling.
I don't remember.
Want to shout out real quick again our new ambassadorship with our friends at Lost Astronaut Coffee. They have some amazing coffee that you can try. Their merch.
Their merch
looks
is
kicks
awesome.
All the ass.
I love the logos. So many different logos that are so cool.
So we want to shout out those guys real quick and welcome them to the Happy Hour podcast family.
Heck yeah.
So if you want to buy some delicious, robust Lost Astronaut coffee, use promo code HappyHourPod3, all caps, at checkout to save 5%. Anything else?
I was going to say, besides having Making Nerds Cringe on,
Yeah.
we get back to our regular scheduled program after that, where it's just us and Caleb,
Yeah.
the original crew,
Bullshitting for an
bullshitting
hour.
and drinking and
Having a good time.
having a good time.
I'm for it.
Heck yeah. Not that we didn't love our guests we had on, because we
Oh,
love all of our
absolutely.
guests that we've had on.
Yeah, but it's kind of nice to get back to our roots for a little while.
Just want to get drunk and be stupid.
And then,
and not have to edit the stupid. Because you're doing it this time.
yeah, this one's mine. So it'll turn out perfect.
Nice.
Hopefully it will. We'll see.
Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. My name's Tabby.
I'm Mike, and we will see you lovely people next time. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. And as always, please drink responsibly. Have a good night. Take care, and we'll see you on the flip-flop. Peace!